Okay, so now generally we are discussing about basic settings, and in basic setting, actually, till now we have covered two topics: fiscal year variant and posting period variant. Two topics we have covered in basic settings. Okay, so generally fiscal year variant, in a very simple way, we can say like fiscal year variant is going to decide whether whatever our financial year is there is calendar year or non-calendar year. If we talk about posting period variant, then posting period variant we define which control the posting, transaction posting for a specific period. In the sense, posting period generally, what does it do? Generally, it avoids transaction posting in a future period and also in the previous period. Okay, so these kind of controls we can, whatever the transaction we are going to post, so on each and every transaction these kind of controls we can apply, and which is required actually as per the compliance, as per the government rules and all. Now if we talk about field status variant, the third topic which we have to, now third topic, the third things which we are going to define is field status variant. Okay, now so what is this field status variant? What exactly, if we define field status variant, what is the use of this? Why we are going to define this? Okay, and then I'll explain how we are going to define this. So here we are having field status variant. Okay, now field status variant is the set of field status group. Okay, like inside a field status variant, lots of field status group will be there, which linked with GL master, and it helps to control the fields which appears during transaction posting. Now, how it is going to link to GL master, that is the matter of practical. Once I create GL master, I let you know guys where we are going to link this field status group. In a simplest way, I'm going to just make you understand what is the use of field status variant or field status group. If I talk about field status group, it means field status group is the part of field status variant itself. Inside of field status variant, we are having lots of field status group. Okay, now so what is the use of field status variant? I'll let you know. Let's suppose if we have to post a transaction, if we are going to post a transaction, uh, whether it is sales related, purchase related, whatever the expenses, revenue, or whatever the different kind of transactions are there, for every transactions we have to enter certain information. In the sense, there are lots of fields will appear while posting the transaction. There are lots of fields which is going to appear. Okay, like we'll be having fields like, let's suppose, document date. We'll be having field like posting date, then reference field, then text field, then we'll be having assignment field, plant, profit center, cost center, GL number. This is, I'm not giving in sequence and all. Okay, and likewise several other fields are also there: segment, business area. Now what is these all things, at this point of time I'm not going to explain, but there are lots of fields appears during transaction posting. Now if client says that What is this segment? I don't want to use segment because this we are not following segment concept. So I to keep this segment here. Better not to keep this segment field here because it is going to create some confusion, and if we are going to enter any details in this field, somewhere some impact will be there. So what they'll say, if this is not required, instead of segment we are going to use business area, then why to keep this segment? Better to remove this. Better to remove this segment field. Or else they will say that better to hide this or do something so that user will not be able to give any input here. User will not be able to give any input here. Like business area means we can give here TMAN, which already we have defined, manufacturing or service. But in segment field, what is the demand from user? That you hide it or do something so that user will not be enter any details here. So here it means directly or indirectly they're talking about to have a control on the fields which appears during transaction posting. So how are we going to have a control on these all fields which is appearing during transaction posting? These fields, so these controls, all the controls we can have through field status variant. Okay, see, field status variant we are having while defining this. I'll let you know practically also, and you will be having clarity once we complete this basic settings and few settings for GLs and all, and once we post certain transaction, then you people will be having better understanding about this field status variants and all. I'll let you know how it is going to control the fields. Okay, but right now I'll just tell you, see here there are certain fields. I have given a screenshot how it is going to control. Now text field, let's suppose user says that I don't want to use this text field, or I don't want to use this invoice reference field. Okay, because I don't know what is this invoice reference. Lots of field will appear, and it doesn't mean that every field they are going to fill up the details. Hardly 20 to 30% of the fields they are going to fill up the details and all, even 20% itself. But the thing is like then they'll say that okay, this invoice reference is not required because this is not relevant. So in that case, see, we are having three different types of options. One is suppress, second one is required, and third one is optional entry. Okay, so if the user says that I don't want to use invoice reference, then what we are going to do, we are going to click here under suppress. So if you click here under suppress, then what will happen? It means this invoice reference field, let's suppose this invoice reference field, the invoice reference field which is appearing here will not be appeared. It will be, then it will not appear here. Okay, it means we have suppressed means now it is in hidden mode. Now user will not be able to view this field. Okay, so if user is not able to view this field, then he or she will not be able to enter any detail over there. So whatever the fields, in a simple language we can say, like field status variant controls the fields which appears during transaction posting. Whatever fields are appearing over there, that can be suppressed. It can be also made as a required entry or optional entry. What is this required entry and optional entry? Like let's suppose there is a requirement from Tata Motor and they are saying that whatever transaction they are going to post, in the sense user is going to post, they must have to enter, they must have to write certain narration for each and every transaction, so that it will give more and more clarity. If they view the reports and all, if they're having suspicion about any line item means each transactions is called one line item. Now, if they will be having any kind of doubt about any transactions, and then what will happen? They are going to read out the text, in the sense narration, so that they will be having clarity. Okay, we are having different kind of rent posting, but now rent is there for corporate office, rent is there for some branch office and all. Even in branch office also, for which branch office this rent belongs to, because for entire rent they are having, let's suppose, only one GL. So if they are going to view the GL report, in that it is going to list out all the rent. So how they are going to identify this particular rent belongs to which branch office, or corporate office, or whatever office. So it means they must have to specify certain narration against every transaction, so that they will come to know. Now, so what will happen then? In that case, what will happen? While transaction posting, while posting of transaction, sometime, being as a human being, uh, mistake might be possible. While posting a transaction, somebody is thinking something else, and if he missed out to write certain narration, and if you post the transaction, then that is a kind of mistake. So what we have to do then? In that case, Tata Motors says that you do something so that user must have to write the narration for each and every transaction. So in that case, what we are going to do? We are going to make this text field as a required entry. We'll click here. Okay, these all round buttons are called, guys, this is called radio button. The difference between radio button and checkbox is, you can apply a check mark. Let's suppose if we are having three check boxes here, then we can apply check mark on all three check boxes. But in radio button, at one time you can check only one. If you keep cursor here on required entry, that is only will be selected, remaining two will be deselected. Okay, now, so what is happening in text field? This required entry radio button, we are going to click here, so that this will be selected. It means text entry, whatever the entry we are going to give for whatever this text field is there, that is going to be mandatory. While posting a transaction, they must have to enter certain they must have to specify certain detail in text field. They must have to give certain information in text field. If they don't enter any detail in text field, then what will happen? System is not going to allow user to move on further screen, or to move on, or to save the transaction, to post the transaction. Okay, so that is the use of required entry. Means if you made any field as a required entry, then they must have to enter certain, they must have to give certain input while posting a transaction. An optional entry means whether they whether they write anything or not, it doesn't matter. If they want, they can write. If they don't want, they can skip. That is the things of optional entry. And once we post the transaction, you'll be having very better understanding and clarity. So why are we going to define this field status variant? Because field status variant controls the fields which appears during transaction posting. People will ask during interview that what is the use of field status variants and all. So field status variant, it field status variant controls the fields which appears during transaction posting. And then the next question will be how it is going to control the fields which appears during transaction posting. Then I'm not going to explain right now. I'll explain you once we post the transactions, and then I'll show you guys how it is going to control the fields which is appearing during transaction posting. And at that point of time, you'll come to know. And then I think that is going to set in your mind. Right now, we have not done other settings and all, so transaction posting is not possible. Okay. So this is the use of field status variant, which controls the fields which appears during transaction posting. Now, so let me define this field status variant first. And whatever field status variant we have defined, we need to assign with our company code also. We need to link with our company code also, so that SAP will be able to understand, okay, this is the field status variant which is going to be used for Tata Motor. So let me create the field status variant first. We'll assign and then we'll move further. Okay. So in order to define field status variant, we are going to use transaction code OBC4. OBC4. Press enter. So this is the screen which is appearing. Now, whenever you have to create a field status variant, generally we are not going to create a new one because SAP has already given standard. Okay. Now, the standard one is 0001, either 0001 or 1000. These two are the standard one given by SAP. So whenever you have to create a field status variant, what we are going to do, generally we are going to copy the field status variant, that as a, what to say, the reference field status variant given by SAP, that is 0001. If you want to create, you can create here on new entry. You can click on new entry, you can create. We are going to copy the field status variant which is given by SAP. Click on copy here, copy as, and then you can give a code. You can give a code that is TM10 itself. I am going to give. Why I have given the same code? Because for us it will be easy to remind. If I am going to give the same code, then it will be easy for us to remind what is our field status variant, what is our posting period. In future, once we move further, then these all things will be required. And then press enter. Press enter. Okay, and then you need to click on copy all. As I said, inside of field status variant, we are having different field status group. Okay, so click on copy all. So see here, now system is saying that number of dependent entries copied 45. Click here on continue or press enter. Okay, so now we have copied. Then select this field status variant and click here left side field status groups. Now inside of this field status variant, we are having several field status groups. Okay, now while creating a GL master, we have to assign this field status group. How to assign over there and how it is going to control, that I'll show you guys practically, so you'll be having a perfect understanding. Now, okay, so double click on any field status group here. There are lots of field status group already given by SAP. What we are going to do generally, I'll let you know. You double click on any field status group. Inside a field status group, see there are so many details are there. Like click on any one, general data. See in general data, what is happening? These all fields are there. These all fields are there which will appear during transaction posting. Assignment number, text, invoice reference. Remaining whatever these fields are there, that is already suppressed. it means these fields will not appear. Okay. Now, if client says that I want certain fields, generally these fields are not required, but still if they want certain fields, then what we are going to do, we can make it optional entry. If they don't want these fields, let's suppose these three fields are there in that, I said like they want text should be a required entry. It means they must have to write certain narration while posting the transaction. Then what they have to do, click on required entry. So that is going to be text field is going to be a required entry. So whatever the field selection we are going to make here, whether it is suppressed or required or optional, the impact is going to happen on a different screen. Here we are going to select this, and the impact will be where? Impact will be having on a different screen. While posting the transaction, there the impact will be visible. So I'll show you guys practically. Once we post the transactions and all, at that point of time we'll be having a very clear understanding the use of this field status groups and all. Okay. So what is the use of field status variant or so-called field status group? Because group is the part of variant itself. Inside of variant, groups are there. So if anybody asks what do you mean by field status variant, or what is the use of field status variant, or what is the use of field status group, so you have to say that field status variant or field status group is going to control the fields which appears during transaction posting. Click on back button. Back button, this green color is called back button, or this shortcut F3 button is also you can apply. So we have created our field status variant. That field status variant is TM10. Oh, sorry, come back. Yeah, here. This is our field status variant which we have created. Then save it and press enter. So now I have defined a field status variant. Now what I am going to do, I am going to assign this field status variant to our company code, because we have defined TM10 as our field status variant, but system doesn't know which field status variant is going to be used for Tata Motor, because here we are having lots of field status variant defined by different people. So now how to assign this field status variant with the company code? Transaction code is OBC5. So here there are lots of company codes are already there now, and almost 1063 entries are there. As I said, like huge number of people are practicing in this server. So what we have to do now, we have to search our company code. So click on position and give your company code TM10 and press enter. So directly it has brought here to your company code. And what field status variant we have created for this company code? TM10 itself. That code also I've given the same code here. If you want to give a different code, you can give. There is no restrictions. The only reason uh, behind giving this the same code, so that it will be easy. TM10 by posting period variant also, field status variant also. So in future you may require to remind. So that's what it will be easy for you guys to remind. Click on save. I saved it. Then moving for the next setting. Okay. Then we are having another setting called tolerance group. Okay. So what is the use of tolerance group or tolerance limits? Now I'll let you know. let's suppose we are having generally, say for example, in organization there will be three categories of employees. The first category is like management category, seniors, maybe TL and other senior people. Seniors in the sense like not seniors, you can say like TLs, team leads, and then associate, associates. So these are the junior people, and all in between manager and whatever this senior people are there, that is called TLs, and management means higher level people. Now what is happening when you talk about transaction postings and all, so most of the transactions are posted by these peoples only, because these are the ground level people who is going to perform all the activities. TLs and managers are just going to have a look on the team, and they are going to make them perform whatever the things or activities are there. Now, so this at this level people, these associate people or ground level people are going to post every transaction. Now here the problem is, let's suppose in an organization, what is happening? Uh, there are certain people who is going to post the invoices. There are certain people who is going to post the payments also. After posting payment, what is happening? The check is getting printed. Checks are getting printed, and then once the checks are printed, then what will happen? They are going to this in form of whoever the finance and account head is there. They'll give the signatures and all, and then that is going to send to the vendor, and vendor will going to present this check in the banks, and that's how they are getting their amounts and all. In the simplest way, I'm trying to make you understand. So let's suppose for posting and invoices, what will happen? We must have a vendor master. First of all, vendor master should be created in SAP, and in vendor master, all the whatever the bank details are there, that is also given. That is also given. Bank details are given. Then somebody is going to post the invoices against that vendor, and somebody is going to make payment. Different people will be responsible, because organizations might like huge number of vendor creation request will come, huge number of invoices are coming on daily basis, huge number of payments are also getting posted on daily basis. So different people are involved in this all different activity. Now say for example, there is one guy from vendor master team, another guy from invoice team, and one more guy from payment processing team. These all guys are like A, B, and C. A is from vendor master, B is from invoice, and C is from payment processing team. Now they are close friends. So what these people are going to plan, they will say that, yeah, I'll do one thing. I'll create this A is saying that I'll create a dummy vendor. I'll create a dummy vendor, and you do one thing. You process an invoice against that vendor worth of 1 crore rupees. Okay. And they are saying to see that you process the payment. Okay. Once B is going to post the invoices, they are saying to see that you process the payment of this 1 crore. Okay. Process the payment of 1 crore rupees. Now what will happen here? Generally in organizations, whoever like these people are working for last 4 5 years. So generally what is happening, whoever the head of the finance department is there, on daily basis 100 checks or 50 checks he is going to give his signature and all. So initially for verification purpose he will watch one by one, then he is going to put the signatures and all. And if somebody has keep on doing the same work for last 5 year or 4 years, then they will be having a kind of trust, and they know that this guy is not going to make any mistakes, so blindly is going to keep signature on each and everything. Okay, now, so if that is the case, then these people will be able to do the fraud. Somebody has created the invoices, somebody has posted payment, and he has generated a check of 1 crore rupees, let's suppose. I'm just giving you an example. Generally now checks are also not happening, they are directly doing the online transfer and all, so that become more and more easy. But so if they want, they can make a fraud, and everybody will have around 33 lakh rupees in their hand, and they can quit the organization. Okay, now, so what will happen, how we are going to control on these kind of frauds? Okay, so SAP says that we'll do one thing. We are going to control, we are going to control the limits, in the sense we are going to give certain limits in terms of transaction posting. How they are going to control the limits? They are going to control the limits in the sense, whatever associate level people are there, they cannot post a transaction more than 1 lakh. It means if a transaction exceeding even 1 lakh 1 rupees also, these people should not allow to post a transaction. Okay, whatever this TL level people are there, these people can post a transactions till 10 lakh. Okay, and whatever manager level people are there, they are going to post a transaction till unlimited amounts. Okay, so now, uh, most of the transactions, like 98% of the transactions are, let's suppose, small transaction itself of 50,000, 70,000, 1 lakh rupees, or generally it could be 5 lakh or 10 lakh we can give here, and we can give 1 crore here and more than 1 crore here, like that. Anything. I'm just going to give you example here. So let's suppose 98% of the transactions are less than 1 lakh rupees itself. So these people are anyhow they are going to cover this 98%. Now remaining 2% is there, that is going to be till 10 lakh, and 0.5% or 0.1% will be more than 10 lakh. So whatever the transactions which is more than 10 lakh, these TL people are going to process those transactions. Okay, so it will be very less, and managers are very rarely, if any transaction is falling more than 10 lakh rupees at all, so these people are going to post the transactions. So this is how we can avoid this. There are certain other way also. It's impossible to do a fraud in SAP and all, because we are having lots of checks. Okay, we are having lots of checks, and by which we can control these kind of frauds and all. But out of which one is tolerance limit. Tolerance limit means at every level we have given certain limits. So tolerance limit is going to controls, it's a kind of control at user level in terms of this amount, and even in terms of discount also. Discount, like in every organization we are having certain options to give certain discount to the vendors or customers. Sorry, give certain discount to the customers. Generally from vendors we are going to receive. So customers, like instead of 5%, if they have given 50% discount, they posted their amount in their system and they cleared the invoices and all. And indirectly they have negotiated with the customer that you do one thing, out of 50% make us 25% payment. This is impossible, but we are talking about a possibility. So in terms of amount and discount, whatever these restrictions are there, that can be applied by tolerance limit or tolerance group. Okay, so this is the use of tolerance group. If we have given a limit for these all people till 1 lakh rupees, then what will happen, the moment they are going to cross this limits, even the transaction belongs to like 1 lakh 1 rupees also, these people will not be allowed. Okay, these people will not be allowed. What will happen then, it should be posted by these TLs and all. Okay, so if the transaction is more than 1 lakh rupees, then TL is going to post, and if it is more than 10 lakh rupees, then managers are going to post. But generally, this is, as a consultant, we are going to configure these all things, but even in real time, what is happening, no one is going to follow these all rules. Even if the transaction is more than 1 lakh rupees also, associate is going to inform TL. Instead of posting this transaction, what TLs are going to do, they'll give their ID password, and they'll say that log in by this ID and password and post it. Even if it is more than 10 lakh rupees, they are going to contact managers. That's this transaction is there, you have to post. They will also give their ID password. You do one thing, post the transaction. It means ultimately everything these people will have to do. Okay. Now, but generally we are talking about the uses and all. What is the use of these tolerance limits or tolerance group? So this is the use. It is going to have a control in terms of, like for transaction posting and all, at user level, in terms of amount and discount. So I have given a screenshot also here. Now we'll do one thing. We'll create a tolerance group. Then, okay, transaction code I have not mentioned here. Transaction code will be OBA4 and press enter. Okay, so as usual, click on new entry, and now first of all give your company code. Okay, and then here I am going to give a maximum amount. If you people want to do experiment, you can make experiment. You can give like 1000 rupees, and then you try to post a transaction. It is going to throw error if it is exceeding 1000 rupees. So in order to avoid those errors, you can give the maximum amount. Let's suppose 10 times 9s, and here also 10 times 9s. In discount, let's suppose we are going to restrict them in terms of discount also. So 5%, like maximum discount can be allowed 5%, not 5%, not more than 5%, and then press enter. Now here permitted payment differences, I'll let you know what is the use of this. In terms of revenue, 5 rupees, and here also 5 rupees. Okay, so permitted payment differences, what is the use of permitted payment differences, I'll let you know. Let's suppose, first of all, save it. Now what is happening, say for example, we are having invoice worth of 1001, and payment. So whether it is customer or vendor, if it is our vendor, then we are going to make payment in round figure. Okay, generally the amount will be, let's suppose 1 lakh 1 rupees 15 paisa. Calculation is happening automatically. So if the system has calculated the, what to say, whatever the goods or product we are going to sell, that is the amount, 1 lakh 1 rupees 15 paisa, or 1 lakh something 5 rupees. So what is happening, customer is not going to make payment of that 5 rupees change amount. They are going to make it round figure. Now instead of here invoice, like let's suppose we are having 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh 5 rupees, and customer has made payment of 1 lakh rupees. So here we cannot ask customer that no, you have to pay 1 lakh 5 rupees itself. 5 rupees is nothing in front of 1 lakh rupees, isn't it? Or 1 lakh 2 rupees is there and customer has made payment of 1 lakh rupees only. So what will happen in this case? Invoice amount is different and payment amount is different. Okay, so against this invoice itself, if we are going to post payment, then there is a difference of 5 rupees. Okay, I'm just explaining you theoretically here. Practically, it's not possible. Practically also will be explained later once we post the transactions. So now invoice amount is different and payment amount is different, and there is a difference of 5 rupees. So with this difference, if that is the case, then system is not going to allow the payment posting because there is a difference between invoice and payment, and the difference is 5 rupees. So what will happen in this case? In this case, system will not allow because system knows that debit and credit, whatever the things are there, that should be, or else if this if in SAP generally one clearing process is also there. What is this clearing? That will be explained later. So during clearing, the amounts will not be clear. Like whatever this invoice is there, against that we have received payment. So if the same amount is there, then only system is going to allow for clearing. So or else like during transaction posting, system is going to allow if it is the same amount. So here there is a difference of 5 rupees. So what we have given here we have specified 5 rupees, that its system should allow. Even if there is a difference till 5 rupees, system should allow. If it is more than that, then system should not allow. So either 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, whatever organization is going to say, we are going to keep over there. So if it is like, if from customer side we have sent an invoice worth of 1 lakh 5 rupees and payment we have received 1 lakh rupees. So this 5 rupees is our expenses. From vendor side, if the same case is there, then this 5 rupees is our revenue. So that's what we have specified here. Now, so and in group I have not given here anything. Why we have not given anything in group? Because now what will happen, that also I'll explain once more later. In group, what is happening, let's suppose these three types of employees are there. So what we have to do, we have to create three different group. Like group, let's suppose I have given A, B and C. Three groups we have created, let's suppose. So what will happen, we have to define different amount limit for every groups. Like I have given amount limit, the maximum amount I have given this 10 times 9s. Instead of that, here I'm going to create, I'm going to give limits of 1 lakh, here 10 lakh, and here unlimited, in the sense 10 times or 12 times 9s. Okay, so now what will happen, so if we give anything here in group, if we are going to give anything here in group, then what will happen, we have to link certain user ID against that group. Okay, we have to link certain user ID against that group. Now what is this group? If you want to define the group, then you have to assign certain user ID /o ob58. Okay guys, let's suppose we are in one screen, and if you have to open a new screen, you have to click here. Or else if you want to open a new screen, if you want to go to a different screen, and that too in the new screen, not you want to keep this screen as it is and you want to open a new screen and then you want to use a transaction code, so here directly we can type /o followed by transaction code. Earlier we used to type /n and followed by transaction code. /n means this screen is there, in this screen itself, in this screen itself, what is happening, we are going to move to a different, we are going to use a different transaction code and all. System is going to show you a different fields and all. But here this field also I want to keep, this screen also I want to keep, and I want to open a new screen, so we are going to create a new session. Instead of that, Directly we can type /o and followed by transaction code and press enter. Okay, that is broken here. Okay, I'll show you. Let's suppose we are already in one screen here in OBA4 screen, and from this screen if you want to move to a different screen, and that too you want to open a new session, so /o and the transaction code OB58 I've given. Press enter. So if you press enter, then what is going to happen? See, the result will be there. Now see what happened. One screen is already, the first screen is already, first session is already here, and system has opened that transaction code in a different session. A new session has been created here and system has opened here. Okay, so I think OB57 here. Let me check. Yeah, yes. So what is happening here, I'll let you know. So if we have created, like for managers, we are going to give a maximum limit, and that group we have given A. So against that group, we are going to give we are going to link the user ID of all managers. Here, what we are going to give, here we are going to click on new entry, and whatever user IDs are there, like A100, let's suppose B100, C100, these kind of user ID will be created. Generally it's not exactly this, it will be like some your first name 3 letters and last name 2 letters, like that they'll create user IDs and all. And tolerance group, like we have created for managers A, so we are going to assign A. Now in A, what I have given, in tolerance group A, I have given a limit of maximum limit. So these user IDs we have assigned against A, tolerance group A. So what will happen if you save this, then system will be able to understand that, okay, if any transaction is getting posted by these user ID, then system will check what limit we have given against this group. Okay, so system will be able to identify unlimited limit is there. So that's how system is going to allow these people to post transaction even of worth of 1 crore or 5 crore or 10 crore rupees also. Now we are having D100. Let's suppose we are having E100. These employees are TLs, and we have created a different group B. So for this group, I have given a limit of 10 lakh. So whenever these people are going to, from this user ID, if any transaction is getting posted, system will find out what is the tolerance group B, and against this group, what is the limit we have assigned. We have given a limit till 10 lakh rupees only. So with this user ID, if any transaction is getting posted till 10 lakh rupees, system will be accepting. There won't be any problem. Now if it is going to be 10 lakh 1 rupees, also system is going to throw an error that this is not possible. And likewise, we are going to have some more user ID, and we are going to give here tolerance group C. In C, we have a specified limit only 1 lakh rupees. So whatever the user ID which is linked with, tolerance group C, those people will not be allowed to post a transaction more than 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so this is how. Now, why I said do not specify the groups right now, because click on position, and we have already given tolerance group. Give your company code TM10. Okay, so if I have not entered any group here, it means now this whatever limit I have specified, that is going to be applicable by default for every user ID. For whatever the user IDs are there, by default it is going to be applicable for every user ID. And generally these things we do not explain to the client. that we are having these functionalities and all, because again they will ask for explanation. They will be saying that uh, chalo, let's have a meeting and we'll discuss on that. Useless, unnecessarily they are going to consume our time. So during configuration, we do not say these all explanations. We do not say these all things like we are having these functionalities and all. Simply we do our configuration. We give a maximum limit so that everybody will be allowed. Once the go live is done, once they started transaction posting, somebody will, of course, these kind of requirement will come in their mind once they started using these transactions and all. So if this requirement come in their mind, then they'll contact the support people, whoever the support people is there, that I want these kind of functionality. Is it possible in SAP? They will say yes, it is possible, and then it will be treated as a kind of configuration requirement, and people are going to bill for this amount, and then for this requirement and all, they will be charging some certain amount, and then this configuration will be done. Anyhow, here I just have to, I just had to make, what to say, explain that what is the use of this tolerance groups and all, or tolerance limits. We are having one more tolerance limit we have to specify. This is we have specified for users at user level. Now we are having at GL level also. Class N OBA0 is the transaction code. OBA0, OBA0. Okay. Here also click on new entry. Here also give your company code TM10. If you want to give any description, tolerance group for now. What is the use of this? That you'll be able to understand once I teach you guys FIMM integration. FIMM integration. There certain clearing will happen, and at that point of time, I'll let you know what is the use of this. Right now here, uh, I'm going to specify 5 rupees here also, 5 rupees here also. We can specify in terms of amount or percentage, whatever you want. Now what is happening here? As I said, like we are having in SAP, we are having a clearing procedure. Clearing means the transactions, whatever transactions we are going to post, we'll be having, certain debit transaction will be there and credit transaction will be there. And debit and credit all together, the both, line items should be cleared. How it is going to be cleared practically, I'll show you guys, and so that it will be the, very 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 easy for you guys to understand. Okay, so I'll explain the use of this once I cover FIMM integration. Since this is also a mandatory setting, that is why I am going to make it now. That is why I am going to configure now, because if I miss this setting, then system will not allow to post a transaction. When we go, when we post certain basic transaction also, there are certain mandatory setting. In background, system is going to check whether have we done this setting or not. So that's what I have done this setting. But the impact or uses of this, I'll let you know once I cover FIMM integration. So guys, that's all in this session. Still we are left with some more topics which I'll cover tomorrow, and then we will be, able to finish this basic settings and all.